entities are failing to do.
A re-decompression strategy.
Conversations that I had was with a gentleman who came from Colombia, 5 days traveling here, trying to get to Canada, not having any real direction. But some of our partners that we see here on the ground were able to give him some of the support and information he needs so that he's able to get the help that he needs and reach the destination that he's trying to reach. This is a man-made crisis.
No shit.
It's going to take men and women across this country to solve. And I'm going to extend my hand to the mayors across this country to say together, we did not create this problem, but together we will find solutions, but those solutions must be implemented by the federal government. I'm extremely disappointed of what we have done to the cities of this country and the impression that we're not seeing a level of urgency of getting this issue resolved. I see the urgency. Mayor, you see the urgency as well. And other mayors across this country witness the urgency that we're facing. And so I want to now turn it over to my Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, who is a dreamer, who came to this country with his mother, seeking the same dream that many of our migrants and asylum seekers are attempting to pursue now. He understands clearly the impact of being denied and the impact of not having the right information, the right support. We've always been a city where the Statue of Liberty sits in our harbor, where we know what it is to come here and try to pursue the American dream. And that dream should not turn into a nightmare because of lack of coordination that we're seeing on a national level.
Thank you, Mayor Adams. And I first want to say that it's incredibly telling of our Mayor Eric Adams, of his care and compassion for the immigrant community in New York, but elsewhere as well, to appoint a dreamer to be the commissioner.
Oh yeah, let's emphasize that because it does so much to help.
Who's had those experiences and that could relate to the immigrant community in New York and to now those arriving to New York City. So I want to thank Mayor Eric Adams for this role. It's been...
All right, there you have Mayor Eric Adams speaking in El Paso.
Oh, well, why are you going to interrupt him?
Along with the head of his Immigrant Affairs office at City Hall. Mayor Adams saying that he is meeting with mayors across the country to address what he calls a migrant crisis. Other mayors saying that as well. He says he needs more national coordination from national leaders to make sure to handle this situation. And once again, he went down to El Paso, Texas to see firsthand the situation at the southern border. He says this is an urgent situation, not only in New York City, but in many cities across the country. And once again, he is calling on the national government to have clearer coordination when it comes to immigrants coming into the city. Mayor Eric Adams saying right now there are about 26,000 asylum seekers in New York City care who have arrived here over the last several months. We'll have much more on this story.
Last week it was 40,000. What happened there? How does it go from 40,000 to 26,000? You're so full of shit.
The Adams administration has signed a $275 million hotel deal to house at least 5,000 asylum seekers. It's an emergency agreement between the Department of Homeless Services and the Hotel Association that's estimated to cost the city about $55,000 per migrant. Now, the New York City Hotel Association president says up to 55 hotels will house the waves of asylum seekers that continue to enter our city.
The contract is for hotels that are voluntarily looking to participate in providing rooms for migrants. We are still way behind other competitors, and our competitors are not Oklahoma City, much less not even Los Angeles or San Francisco. Our competitors are London and Paris. And London and Paris are 15 to 20% ahead of 2019. We, on the other hand, have 11,000 rooms that are still closed for for a variety of reasons, but typically because COVID hit us more, in a more adverse fashion than almost any other city in the United States.
Now, Adams has estimated that it will cost the city some $2 billion to house the thousands of migrants, and he is seeking reimbursement from the federal and state governments to defray the cost. He announced Friday that he put in an emergency aid request with Governor Kathy Hochul and the state legislature for immediate help to shelter asylum seekers. A terrible tragedy occurred Friday when a 9-year-old girl lost her life after a fire ripped through her family's Brooklyn home. Tonight, a vigil is held in her memory. NY1's Ron Lee joined us tonight from Brownsville with more. Ron.
Hey there, Dean. Well, at this time, the FDNY continues to investigate the cause of that early morning house fire that claimed the life of 9-year-old Peyton Thompson, who lived right here in Brownsville. And tonight, her family will be holding a vigil outside of her home, which is now all boarded up. Let's take a look now at some video that we shot around 5 o'clock this evening that shows the makeshift memorial here on Howard Avenue, which was comprised of balloons, flowers, and teddy bears. This collection could very well grow in size tonight. That's because the family is asking those who attend tonight's vigil to share a rose or small teddy bear in memory of little Peyton. The FDNY says around 5:30 Friday morning, while most people were still asleep, a 3-alarm fire broke out inside of the 3-story home where Peyton lived with 9 other members of her family. Officials say first responders had found the 9-year-old girl unconscious on the 3rd floor and that she was rushed to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. On Friday, the little girl's uncle, Joseph Thompson, described his niece to NY1 as a child who loved her family, who loved to have fun, who loved to dance, and who loved God. And we will, of course, be attending the vigil, and we will bring you a follow-up report later this evening. That is the latest from Brownsville here in Brooklyn. Ron Lee, NY1. D.
All right, thanks a lot, Ron. It's been 14 years since the most successful marine rescue in aviation history, dubbed as the Miracle on the Hudson.
We thought we were going to circle around and maybe land in the other runway in LaGuardia or JFK. And we didn't have time, man, and we just went down.
That plane went down on the Hudson January 15th, 2009. U.S. Airwaves Flight 1549 to Charlotte made an emergency landing on the water after a bird strike caused the engines to fail minutes after taking off from LaGuardia Airport in Queens. Pilot Chesley Sully Sullenberger is credited with saving the lives of all 155 passengers and crew on board with that miracle landing. The passengers came together for a reunion on Sunday to mark the anniversary.
There was no question in my mind. I knew I was going to die. I never once gave it a thought that I was going to survive. I don't want this family ever to go away, so I'll do anything and everything to keep us together.
Sully was the main reason. He was the one that was at the control and the one that, that's saved our lives.
At a gathering here in the city, and now the North Carolina Aviation Museum is renaming its facility in Sully's honor.
I wanted to make sure that it was something that my whole family would be comfortable with, my wife and my adult daughters. And ultimately, we all came to the same conclusion that yes, this is a very good thing. And if we can use that name, our name, to help promote aviation, help promote STEM, then we're in.
The new museum will also house the Miracle on the Hudson plane and is expected to open later this year. The survivors of the Miracle on the Hudson have turned their near tragedy into a heartwarming experience. For years, they have reunited on the anniversary to keep in touch and remember the incident that bonded them. NY1's Justine Ray has that part of our coverage.
Isn't that what you just
There was no question in my mind. I knew I was going to die. I never once gave it a thought that I was going to survive.
Let's make some filler here.
Despite Denise Lackey's fears, she didn't die, and neither did the 155 other people. They survived the Miracle on the Hudson on January 15th, 2009. The flight coming from LaGuardia Airport on its way to Charlotte was struck by geese that knocked out the engine, forcing the plane to have to make an emergency landing in the Hudson. 14 years later, they meet and remember.
I don't want this family ever to go away, so I'll do anything and everything to keep us together.
This year was special because the passengers and first responders had their first in-person reunion since the start of the pandemic.
It's cathartic because we talk about what happened at that time on the flight.
They also recognize and admire the captain who landed the plane, Chesley Sully Sullenberger.
Sully was the main reason. He was the one that was at the control and the one that, that's saved our lives.
Both Lockie and Leonard hold Sully close to their hearts. Lockie has this charm on her necklace, and Leonard named his grandson Hudson in his honor. But they knew it was more than one person who saved their lives on the river.
I always say it's thanks to Sully, but also to Jeff and the crew and the passengers and the first responders. It's everybody.
Vince Lombardi was one of those rescuers.
It kind of seemed a little surreal to me, but I knew what I was looking at, I knew what I had to do.
The reunion coincided with another important event, the renaming of the Carolina Aviation Museum to the Sullenberger Aviation Museum, honoring the hero pilot.
I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to go to the museum, learn, because it's definitely an educational experience.
Speaking at the event, Sullenberger highlighted the importance of investments in aviation and preventing fatal errors.
We shouldn't be complacent. We should be actively looking for gaps and weaknesses. We should be proactively looking for risks and mitigating them before they can cause harm.
Their work with the museum continues. A campaign has raised $30 million for the museum, and the passengers and first responders continue to raise funds. In Manhattan, Justine Bray, New York 1.
It's time now for Weather on the Ones. It'll be another cold night for the city. Our readings will be falling through the 30s, and eventually by early Monday morning, we'll be right around 30 degrees. Skies will be clear and winds won't be as strong, but still out of the north around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, for the day Monday, look for bright skies to continue with dry conditions. Temperatures once again will reach into the low and mid 40s. Will remain clear and dry right into your Monday night. Lows will drop back into the mid 30s, everyone. Winds will be west at around 5 to 15 miles an hour, making it feel a bit colder, like it's in the 20s at times. Looking ahead, chilly rain arrives for Tuesday with highs in the 40s. Dry and near 50 degrees on Wednesday before another round of wet weather could arrive on Thursday. Pretty far out, but we'll keep an eye on that forecast for you. Your next weather check comes in.
Weather on the Ones is brought to you by The Smile Place. We'll give you something to smile about.
Affordable comfort from A-Star. For a limited time, get a select Lennox heating system installed with no payments and no interest for 6 months. Plus, get rebates from Lennox up to $1,700. Restrictions apply. Find out more at astarheating.com.
Are you ready for the holidays? Maroney's Harley Davidson is here to help. We have the perfect gifts and deals for everyone on your list, not just the biker. We have quality apparel that will last through the years and staff that can help pick out the perfect gift. Free gift wrapping plus friendly faces to ease your stress. This winter, you might be in need of a place to keep your bike safe during the harsh, cold winter weather. Check out our winter storage package. Visit Maroney's on Route 300 in New Windsor, New York.
Imagine a knife taking this much abuse and didn't need sharpening. Introducing the incredible NutriBlade knives, coated with granite stone non-stick and made of stainless steel, one of the hardest substances on Earth. Now everyone can chop, slice, and dice just like a pro. Order right now to get this professional 6-piece set of NutriBlades for just $29.95. We'll even ship them to you free. Get your own NutriBlade knives, the last knives you'll ever buy.
Are you behind on your mortgage? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Are you considering trying to get a loan modification on your own? Did you know that less than 5% of people who tried on their own actually got a modification? At the Mortgage Modification Helpline, we know the rules and regulations banks don't want you to know about. And we've helped thousands of people stay in their homes. So call the Mortgage Modification Helpline today.
Please call 800-947-6126.
Affordable comfort from A-Star. For a limited time, get a select Lennox heating system installed with no payments and no interest for 6 months. Plus, get rebates from Lennox up to $1,700. Restrictions apply. Find out more at astarheating.com.
Well, an election will be held soon for community education councils across the 5 boroughs, giving parents an opportunity to have more of a voice in the public school system. New York One education reporter Jillian Jorgensen has the details for us.
It's election season for the public schools community education councils. And schools chancellor David Banks wants parents to run and to vote.
Free and fair elections are the bedrock of our democracy. And I encourage you to take this time this spring to participate in this election the same way you would any other election.
The city has 32 community education councils, 1 in each school district, and several citywide councils for special education, English language learners, and high schoolers. The boards can vote on zoning matters, but otherwise are largely advisory bodies that replaced school boards when the city adopted mayoral control of education. Few of their votes are binding. But former member Gloria Corsino says school officials do listen to what the councils have to say.
I wouldn't be here if they did not listen. I think it's honestly believing that advocacy never has to be adversarial. It's the approach, it's bringing an idea to the table and having someone receive that message.
For years, members were elected by small groups of parents serving on school PTAs. But in 2021, voting opened to all parents of non-charter public school children. And this year, due to a change in state law, each local council will also elect a representative whose child attends a school in District 75, which serves students with significant disabilities. The state legislature also mandated that the city add more parent voices to the Panel for Educational Policy, better known as the PEP, a citywide body that takes binding votes on some DOE matters. The panel will still have a majority of its members appointed by Mayor Adams.
Working with the PEP is always the best part of my day. So,
that hint of sarcasm was a reference to how long some contentious PEP meetings can last. But Banks says he'll work just as closely with the expanded panel.
The members of the PEP are some of the most committed people that you will ever find.
Candidate applications are open now and close on February 13th. Jillian Jorgensen, New York One.
More news plus your One on the One's forecast are coming right up. Stay with us, everyone.
Sundays. Spectrum News New York One presents In Focus with Cheryl Wills. A half-hour show digging into the issues that impact New Yorkers. Your city, your issues, your show. In Focus with Cheryl Wills. Sunday mornings at 10:30 on New York One. Also available on the Spectrum News app, exclusively on Spectrum.
Flu and COVID are on the rise all across New York State. Now's the time to get vaccinated. Both vaccines help prevent severe illness, hospitalization, and even death. And it's safe to get both vaccines at the same time.
This weekend only, shop new items at even deeper discounts, only at Raymore & Flanagan. Now, save up to $1,500 on sectionals, $1,000 on bedroom sets, $700 on sofas, $500 on dining sets, $300 on recliners, and hundreds on more items throughout the store. Or buy now and pay over time with financing. Take 48 months to pay with 0 interest. Thousands of items are in stock and ready to deliver in 3 days or less. Don't wait. These long weekend deals won't last. Only at Raymore & Flanagan.
Central Hudson is alerting customers to volatile supply prices for natural gas and electricity. Whichever company you choose as your energy supplier, the price you pay for energy supply is set by market forces and not a source of profit for Central Hudson. These prices are rising, but there are steps you can take to reduce your supply costs, like improving insulation, sealing leaks, turning down thermostats, and avoiding the use of electric space heaters. Learn about programs that can help you manage your costs at centralhudson.com.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-853-1597.
Hello, I am the Royal Prince who needs your help. Click on this link. A boy box
questions. Click here to enter your social security number.
$900 a week. Apply here.
You're under investigation by tax professionals. Your accounts have been frozen.
Type in your thoughts.
Spectrum One automatically blocks threats to your devices before they ever get to you.
Who wants pizza?
I want pizza.
That's state-of-the-art security. That's Spectrum One.
It's time now for Weather on the Ones, everyone, on this Sunday night. If you're heading out at any point tonight, well, I'll be sure to take some extra layers with you. We have another cold one. Maybe some of you will do some late-night laundry tonight. Temperatures will fall through the 30s and bottom out right around the 30-degree mark. Skies will be mostly clear, keeping us dry, with winds out of the north at around 5 to 15 miles an hour. Looking at Monday, well, not a bad day at all for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Mid-40s for the afternoon. Skies will feature a blend of sun and clouds, but we will stay dry by Monday night. Another cold one is in store. Skies will remain mostly clear and dry, but readings will be in the mid-30s. Looking ahead, we do have a chilly rain expected on Tuesday with highs in the 40s. Look at this. We'll hit 50 degrees on Wednesday with bright skies. Not bad at all for the middle of January. On Thursday, we do have another chance of rain. Clouds linger for the end of the work week, but things are looking dry to begin next week. That's next weekend. That's pretty far out, but we will keep an eye on it for you. If you are traveling, here's a look at our travelers maps. We see tomorrow we have Washington, D.C. at 55, Atlanta at 61, L.A. at 59. A code blue is in effect for the city until 8 a.m. due to below freezing temperatures. If you see a homeless person outside, city officials are asking you to call 311 to get them some assistance. President Joe Biden has approved a major disaster declaration for Alabama after deadly tornadoes ripped through parts of the state last week. The president's action makes federal funding available to people in several counties there. The assistance includes grants for temporary housing, home repairs, and other programs to help storm victims recover. At least 9 people in Alabama and Georgia were killed in Thursday's storms, which caused several tornadoes across the region. Well, vehicles owned by the city are getting some upgrades said to benefit both the environment and public safety. Some cars and trucks are even testing out new anti-speeding technology. New York One Roger Clark takes a ride in one of them to see how it works.
That's Intelligent Speed Assistance, or ISA technology, at work on a ride over the Brooklyn Bridge, installed in a zero-emissions vehicle from the city's fleet.
When it starts to go above the speed limit in any zone, the engine computer will no longer send signals to the accelerator. So you can press the accelerator button, and Nate's going to show you that, but the car won't accelerate.
The Department of Citywide Administrative Services, DCAS, is testing ISA in 50 of the city's fleet vehicles from a number of municipal agencies. It's all controlled by GPS and the DCAS Fleet Office of Real-Time Tracking. The city says the pilot program has proven successful in preventing speeding and reducing instances of unsafe driving.
99% of the 130,000 miles we've done so far has been within the speed limit. And that 1% is really just initial acceleration beyond the speed limit, and then the car is bringing you right back to the speed limit.
The vehicles feature an override button that can temporarily disable the system for 15 seconds, and DCAS can program the vehicles to allow them to travel slightly above or below the speed limit, depending on the situation.
We can set a more aggressive speed limit in certain locations. So around school zones, we can lower the speed limit further than is set by DOT, so that our vehicles would go even more slowly around school zones.
DCAS is expanding the program to 25 more vehicles by the end of February and working on a plan for a large-scale expansion, applying for federal funding to do its entire light and medium-duty fleet, a goal of 7,500 vehicles. Roger Clark, New York One.
And tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day where we pause to honor the life and legacy of the civil rights leader. Several events celebrating Dr. King are being held across the 5 boroughs. Queens College and the Apollo Theater will be putting on their own celebrations for Dr. King. And Central Park is hosting activism tours every Saturday for the next 4 weekends, teaching the history of local racial justice movements, including a protest Dr. King led there in 1967. The Brooklyn Children's Museum is hosting civil rights-inspired programs. They will continue at 10:30 a.m. and end at 2 in the afternoon at the Brooklyn Children's Museum. In honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., President Joe Biden spoke at Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church on Dr. King's actual birthday. President Biden is the first sitting president to speak at a Sunday service at the church, which is well known for being where Dr. King was baptized. He also led a congregation there for a while. Dr. King's funeral was also held at the church. President Biden was invited to speak by current pastor and U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock. In a proclamation for the holiday, President Biden outlined how King imagined a different America than the one that denied Black Americans human rights.
Are we a people who would choose democracy over autocracy? Couldn't ask that question 15 years ago. We thought democracy was settled, not for African Americans, but democracy as an institutional structure was settled. But it's not. We have to choose a community over chaos. Are we the people who are going to choose love over hate?
President Biden's address came ahead of the national holiday that commemorates the legacy of Dr. King. Well, that wraps up this half hour of news on this Sunday night. I'm Dean Millinger. Thanks for watching New York One. Up next on stage with Frank Della.
MainCare Energy is committed to our customers, community, and the environment. That's why we made the switch to BioHeat, a cleaner, lower carbon, renewable heating fuel. Stay warm without warming the atmosphere. Plus, it's 100% compatible with your existing oil heat equipment. And New York residents will save even more with up to 20 cents per gallon clean heating fuel tax credit. Let us help you reduce your carbon footprint while saving you money. Call MainCare Energy today or visit us at maincareenergy.com/bioheat.
I work with my hands and my back, so the accident put me out of work. I have a family, so this was a problem. Sobo and Sobo knew what to do. They helped with the doctor, they dealt with insurance, and they had answers. I got my body and my job back. Sobo and Sobo, remember the name. Tell us your story.
Now, more than ever, all U.S. veterans need your help. If you have an old car, truck, or van, you can donate it today and help them. And they'll come pick it up for free. Plus, the money raised helps our nation's disabled veterans and their families. Call the number on your screen right now. Within a few days, we'll come and tow it away for free, running or not. And the proceeds greatly help U.S. veterans. So please call right now.
You can find news everywhere, but that doesn't make it easy to understand everything going on. How much of a news expert are you? Find out by taking the Spectrum News Challenge.
Yes, it is all about answering those questions.
Play along or root for your local team as high school students compete to separate news facts from news fiction.
True is correct, Team Texas. This is becoming a really exciting game.
If you think you know the news, then it is time to take the challenge. The Spectrum News Challenge on Spectrum News 1.
show, we're celebrating the hit Broadway revival of The Piano Lesson, starring Samuel L. Jackson, Danielle Brooks, and John David Washington. I'm Frank DeLella, and this is a special edition of On Stage. Welcome to the show. This past fall, August Wilson's masterwork, The Piano Lesson, returned to Broadway. Since its opening, the show has become the highest-grossing revival of a Wilson play in Broadway history. The production features an all-star cast, including movie star Samuel L. Jackson. And it's somewhat of a family affair for Jackson. He's being directed by his wife, LaTanya. I recently sat down with the pair right before a curtain to talk this hit revival. What has it been like for you, Sam, revisiting this play, and you, LaTanya, taking on this play?